All right, I think we're ready to get started. So what's going on, people? How's it going? Let's just do the whole face thing here. Oh, Latvia, welcome to the chat. So you say Vim, huh? Yeah, Vim's pretty good. Welcome back, Vindicta. How's it going? Give me just a moment. Trying to make sure I got everything lined up. Yeah, everything looks good. We're trying different things today. So one of the things that we're trying is trying to use Honk, HONK, for the lip sync. I noticed there's a little bit of a delay when I talk and stuff. I wonder if that's just because I'm streaming. Also, we're trying out the 1080p with 30 frames per second. We'll see how that works. I don't exactly know how to fix the oh, there's crackling. Oh, yeah, that's probably also due to Noise Torch. Because I'm also using Noise Torch, and I don't think it's playing well. Let me just fix that. Because that's not good. Noise Torch, we'll unload it. All right, let me see if that makes it better. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, definitely better. In terms of the lip sync, it's more real time. As far as the crackling, I'm not too sure why there's crackling. It could be because I'm running Minecraft in the background. Probably too many processes going on and everything. So yeah, maybe I don't need Noise Torch. But I thought I could just get rid of some background noise with it. Noise Torch just seems to be like the slowest thing that I could possibly use for lip sync. Although what I could do is, if you guys want to, I can show you the program for Honk. Now that I've figured out how to do everything with it, it's working out pretty well. Although I think I need to add different mouth movements. I just need to figure out what mouth movements I need to alter. So Noise Torch is a thing where it's basically noise suppression. So, like, you can take out some of the background noise using using Noise Torch. As far as Honk is a VTuber lip sync tool. It is a Windows program. So the interesting thing about that was I had to install normal Wine instead of Wine Staging. Once I did that, I let's see, what did I do after that? Oh yeah, when I opened the program, it asked me to open it with a wine prefix, and it was choosing from one of the games that I had played previously from Steam. So I thought that was weird, but yeah, you know what? Let me just exit out of Minecraft because clearly it is not wanting to run well. But yeah, I will go to this program and we can take a look at it. Welcome back, VFox. So basically what you've got here is I've got I got the background. So like this is the piece that I've got for the back. And then for the front, we have all these different layers. And or not layers, but we have all these different mouth movements. And what was interesting was well, I don't need to create that. What was interesting was, let me see, because I think I have to zoom out if I want to see. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. So I can edit the sprites, and the sprites, yeah, well, basically, there's still going to be some crackling because I hear the crackling on my end. But what I did was I just unloaded Noise Torch and just used my mic. That was it. So for the bass, I use like oh wait, did it not keep my layer config? That's kind of odd. Maybe it's because I switched from the latest to stable. Because like I stopped using the latest version. I went to the stable version. So like there's a bass that you've got, then there's a blink. And then you've got all these different speech sprites. So your P's, B's, and M's would be one. Your F's would be one. Your thes would be one. Your D's would be one. KG, CH, SZ, NL, R, A, E, I, O, and U. And you just set them to whatever the sprites are. And I guess it's going back off of a configuration that I had done. And you can set the render order. So that one is like the bottom, and then the mouth movements would be the top. Oh, okay, I see what it was. I just had to click on the layer that had my speech, yeah. So the bass would be like your main mouth, and then like your you'd have your blink, and then you got all these other mouth movements. And I'm seriously thinking about drawing some more different mouth movements, so that way they're all different. It's really hard for me to like figure out which ones I want to use for what mouth positions. Even though they got like this diagram here, a lot of them look the same. So, and then you got like these different emotes here that you can use. I don't think I'll use the emotes. Probably not. You can change the background color. I change it to green because generally what you want to do is that you want to color code with something that you're not using. So like I'm not using green, for example. I could have used blue, but I'm not. I don't really want to use blue. I switched to green. And then this is your zoom. You can save and you can switch between all the different characters that they've got. So that's pretty nifty too. But like what you do is that you create your own character folder, and you just put in your folders in I don't know. I'll have to make a video on this to like go a little bit more in depth about it. I do plan on doing that at some point because I think it is worth using if you want to. If you ever decide you want to get into VTubing, you want to have like a simple character, like you draw something in Krita or Inkscape or whatever you want to use, and then you just, it's pretty simple for everyone, I think. Just trying to get that to line up. Oh yeah, over here I could make the character bounce. I don't know why I would want to make the character bounce. I don't think it looks good when it bounces. And then you got your mic gain. I don't worry about the mic gain so much. But yeah, that's a little glimpse into Honk. If I can get it on the right workspace. Yeah, and then I hide it and I don't look back. And then he blinks every now and again. His mouth moves, and you see a little tongue action there. Your big head is kind of creepy. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would disagree with that necessarily. Also, welcome back to the stream. Glad to have you. Alright, so since my idea tanked for Minecraft, I guess we can, we got one of two options. These are the only two options as of right now. We can either play some Magic the Gathering, or, since we're talking about text and code editors, I can show you the text and code editor that I'm using, and then we can use I can go through how I would use text and code editors. That's probably going to be the better route to go anyway. What's a good note like Notepad? A good note like Notepad. I'm glad you're being specific about that. So if we're gonna go with something like Notepad related, I would say, I don't know. It's hard to say because for any text or code editing that I do, I use Genie. So for me, like, I mean, if you want something like really simple, probably I want to say Gedit. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've played around. But I think Gedit is going to be the most simple, probably. I just don't use it enough these days. I just hadn't used it in a while. But yeah, let me actually pull up uh Genie, and we can go through the my hyperlane config while we're at it, and just kind of show you some stuff that it can do. Although a lot of you a lot of you are probably gonna have a problem with like well, kind of similar to how it was yesterday, where like it was all white. Actually, you know what? Let me just switch over, so that way you guys can see what I'm working with. So if we go to preferences, let me see if I can change something about it. Maybe it's an interface. Install gedit. Yeah, pretty much I need just a basic notepad. Yeah, gedit's probably going to be something I would recommend. I definitely wouldn't recommend like Vim or anything, but for a GUI, I think it would be. I mean, of course, you got other options too, because I think there's like Kate, which is KDE's version of a text editor. Yeah, but I mean, if you keep watching what I'm doing here, you may end up liking Genie. That's also an option. I mean, I think it's pretty simple, but um, everyone's got their own taste or what they're looking for. Yeah, Kate is so bad plus buggy. I'm just gonna learn Vim. Welcome back, Methane. Yeah, Vim is definitely something that I use if I'm in the terminal. Can I not change the background? Maybe it's it's not in properties. Yeah, bear with me. I should know this, but I don't. Actually, you know what? I got my phone. Let me just look it up. All right, so we go to edit, supposed to be, go to preferences, and then select the colors tab. What if you don't got a colors tab? Yeah, I don't got a colors tab. Editor, display, and then invert syntax highlighting colors. Oh. Okay, well it makes that. Oh yeah, you can also do something called color schemes. They provide almost complete control over the colors used within the application interface. Which you can edit it with the text configuration file. So like let's not invert that syntax for now because I do want to show you. I think maybe it's not in. It's not in that. It was in change color scheme right here. There's an alternative. Oh, that's just for the what? Okay, that's a little insane. So for right now, you guys are just gonna have to deal with the white unless you want to see the inverted syntax highlighting. But like there are different themes that you can install for this, and basically all it is you just go into Genie and edit the coding. In fact, I think there's like a, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. Hold on, let me go back here for real quick. Then open. Yeah, so like you go to your .config, you go to Genie. There's like different, you got like your templates. You got genie.conf, your keybindings.conf. But your color schemes, you can insert one in there. Like this ABC dark would be great. Although I did not prepare for this whatsoever. So I'll tell you what, let's try that out. Let me go to Genie. Change the color scheme. And for the sake of everything, I think this ABC dark is going to look the best. And then let's show the hidden files. .config, Genie, color schemes. There we go. Then we just save it. And I think I'm going to have to exit out. Let's exit out and then go back into it. And then we should go to our color scheme, and then we have ABC dark. Which really, it only, like, it's not much different, but like, everything should be good to go in that regard. Maybe a little hard to read, but out of all of the ones that I looked at, I thought this looked the best. But you've got like different color schemes that you could go to. Like, let's go into a browser window, and I'll show you where to go for that. So like Genie themes. Then you go to Genie themes here, and you got all these different options. Like you get, like, the one that we're using is ABC dark, but you've also got like as far as your black schemes go, Cyber Sugar looks pretty decent. Let's see, what's another one that you guys may like? Oh yeah, Hacker, maybe one you guys like. It just, what it does is that it just changes like some of the ways that the variables work depending on like if you're working in a comp file or like CSS, for example. You'll see more of the color change, but like you can absolutely go into your Genie and go to color schemes, ABC dark, and you can actually edit all the colors that you want to edit. But I would only recommend this if you are familiar with coding and want to take the time to do that. Although I don't understand what this line here is for. Let me see if I can get rid of it. Is it markers margin? No, I want the markers margin, I think. Line numbers, yeah. I don't know why that line is there. Yeah, Genie is pretty customizable, but I just want a simple note to insta save it. Yeah, yeah, that's what you do. Just you can use whatever you want. I would say like gedit's probably going to be your best bet though, if you want something like super simple. The font is really the stickler for me. I don't care much about the colors once I choose dark or light. So here's the thing about fonts. You know, again, not everyone likes my font. I use Open Dyslexic. You can change the font. You go to Preferences. You go into Interface. Then you can choose the font for the editor. You can choose the symbol list, and you can choose the message window. And this is a GTK app, so you can change it based on, like, if you're in Wayland, you can open up NWG-look, and you can, I think you can change it. Well, no, I think it's not NWG-look. It is GNOME Tweaks. Open GNOME Tweaks, you can tweak the font there if you don't like the way that it looks. But yeah, it is customizable, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing that I'm trying to figure out is why I have this green line. Let me check on that real quick. Oh, to remove the green vertical line, you go to Edit, Preferences, Editor, Display, and the long line marker, you just disable it, click Apply, and OK. There you go. It's probably 80 characters. But yeah, there we go. We got it. We did it. We did it. Yeah, it said 72, but same difference. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're talking about at this point, but sure. Let's see. But yeah, this is the hyperlane config. I've showed this once before. I don't know. As far as like hyperland or waybar, is there anything that you guys want to see specifically with it while we got it open? Because it's a good time to do it. Back in the day, screens were small, so you had X number of character space on each line. Oh, got you. So column 72, I guess that would be the The number of yeah, I guess that would be it. So constricting. Well, yeah, you can I believe that is the value. Let's see. The long line marker is a thin vertical line. It helps to mark along lines or hint to break the line. You set the value to a value greater than 0 to specify the column where it should appear. Yeah. I think that was the number that we was looking at earlier. I think as far as customizing this though, I think it would help if I had like a dark theme going on. Like as far as like I've got to figure out how in Arch I would end up. Well, it's not Arch, but it's CashOS. I got to figure out how in CashOS to make the default layout be like dark themed instead of like the regular theme. Because everywhere I go, it seems like it is on. It's just I can't even do dark theme unless I manually select it. Then that's a different story. Well, I will say that doing 1080p is not nearly as bad as I thought it would be as far as my potato here. Um, it's doing pretty good. There's also line breaking too, if you would rather do line breaking. So, um, I don't really have to. Oh yeah, and there's line wrapping too. Good old text modes. Yep. Yeah. So what do you guys end up using for text and code editors? I know everyone's got something they use differently. NeoVim. Gotcha. Basically, just a souped up version of Nim, or not Nim, Vim. Uh, Not bad. I use I don't know. I tried using NeoVim. I think it was a little too complicated for me at the time. I think I want to revisit it at some point. I use Vim whenever I'm in the console. I think it's a lot more efficient for me. And like after all these years, I still remember all the key bindings for it, or the most important key bindings. Let me put it that way. Um, Let me think for a second. Actually, we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna figure out how to change the color in Kashi. Oh, they're using LX appearance. I didn't think you was able to. Hold on. Let me see if I can do that in NWG Look then. GTK settings. Okay. So the widgets are one thing. Those are another thing. Yeah, you don't really have that option in NWG-Look. How are they doing it in LX Appearance, though? I didn't think it worked the same. Yeah, I don't have a current fave. I tried a bunch, but I never got the hang of any. I live in the console, so it was probably going to be Emacs or Vim, but I always just procrastinated learning either. Yeah, I think out of the two, I think there's a lot that Emacs does offer. I think Emacs is too complicated for me at this time because I can't be bothered to do everything in the terminal. So Vim is my go-to pretty much. But Emacs is Emacs seems like it's a catch-all for everything that you want to do in the console. All right, so let me try to get LX Appearance. If I could spell it right. Or is that what they're talking about when they say the color scheme? Color is not supported by currently selected widget. Oh, I just found out how to do it. Never mind. So I don't need LX Appearance after all. It's under widgets. Because LX Appearance is usually for, like, if you're running X11, usually. They recommend NWG-Look for, like, I don't know if you're doing GTK stuff. But the only thing is that you can't really, I guess, prefer dark. But I like the regular. Let's apply that. Now let me see if it makes a difference here. I think I may have to re-log in for that to take effect. I'd have to do that like off stream, I guess. Just to see like how I could. In fact, let me write that down real quick. Let me see which oh, you know what? I don't even have my tablet plugged in. But we can go to notes here. And let's figure out I'll just do it with my mouse. I'm using, this is so painful. I'm using my right hand. It's not my dominant hand. Along with a mouse that has a like, you know, it's a trackball. Is what I'm trying to say. That was kind of painful. And then let's go ahead and save it. Go back here. Let's see. Yeah, same here. Emacs is too much even for me. I'm going to try and use Vim for everything going forward, and I just did the initial setup / config last week. Nice. Yeah, the biggest hotkeys I would recommend learning is like to go into your into text mode, escape when you want to get out of text mode, and then like you do a colon and you can do Q to quit, or you can do colon WQ to quit. And those are your most basic ones that I would recommend learning first. Coffee Sands 12, welcome back, Clara. Glad to have you here. Yeah, we don't. Unfortunately, that font is not here. We don't have that font. We don't take kindly to that font. Okay, so really what it is I need to figure out Genie change to dark mode. Okay, so someone has a workaround for it. Install tweaks and select appearance legacy. Oh, no wonder, that's for Fedora. Yes. Hello, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Do people still use trackballs? That's neat. I don't see them around much anymore like you did in the 90s or 2000s. I mean, I still use a trackball. I feel like it's makes me more productive whenever I'm using a regular mouse. Like instead of using a controller, like it helps with gaming and stuff like that too. I don't know. I guess it just really depends on how you would use it and all. Yeah, no, I tried doing that. I don't know. I'll have to figure out later. So what's your preferred game controller? If I use a generic controller. It's a Logitech controller. I need to upgrade my controller to something better. So if anyone has any recommendations for like PC plugins for or like for a PC controller that I can use, I'm all for it. If we're having to choose between different consoles, I think it's I grew up on PlayStation, so I prefer those, but I really like Nintendo's controls. I think I actually prefer the Nintendo controls, though I'm more accustomed to using the other. GameSir or GameSir G7 SE is $45 with house sticks. Okay. Oh, it's Xbox One layout. Nah, it might still be worth looking into. Let me uh I'll check into that. Yeah, it's a GameSir G7 SE. Cool. But yeah, I guess since no one, I'm trying to figure out like what else I should show you guys with Genie. I don't think I've done a whole lot of uh like I don't know, for the lack of better words, I would say convincing. I don't think I'm making a convincing argument and why you should use it. Um, I don't really have a convincing argument for it. I just I saw it one day. It even though DistroTube has a video on it, it was actually just a guy Linux that got me to using Genie, and I hadn't really looked back because my only other option at the time was going to be Visual Studio Code, and I was looking to get away from that. This just seemed to have like to me it was simple. Like the only thing that's not simple is if you want to truly customize your experience, I will say. But out of the box, you just start typing and like it's just out of the box is just fine. So, I don't know, that's what I would say about that. Meanwhile, let's see. We're almost headed to the 1 hour mark. Let's do some stretches, y'all. Gotta do them stretches. Gotta stretch them hamstrings. Gotta stretch them biceps too. Yeah, so yesterday I went to like shortly after the stream ended, I went to I went to a doctor because I've been sick and everything. And man, it's crazy how like you get on the scale and the scale basically tells you you're fat. Like I mean, I'm not too far away from like my BMI or whatever, but like I'm still far enough away to where it calls me fat and I'm just like, why are you doing that? I don't eat as many brownies as you think I do, sir. It's like I feel called out when I go to the doctor's office. But no, I all that it is a cold. I tested negative for strep, flu, and the vid. So no longer 20. That's fine. Yeah, I haven't stepped on a scale in a while though. I know I did put an extra couple pounds on this winter. No, that's the thing. That's what you do. You cultivate mass. So what you do cultivate mass. Okay. So no, hear me out. What you do is that you gain all of this weight, right? And that's so that way uh during the winter like you have warmth, right? Isn't that how that works? Or is it fur that works that way? Oh, you don't want to know? I'm sorry. But yeah, let me see if I can actually play some Magic today since this did not take nearly as long as I thought it would. All right, let me. Oh, okay, I see what it is. Sweating intently. Oh, gotcha. Well, now. Are you going to load today, sir? You going to load today? No? Okay. Just unplug everything and then throw it out the window. Yeah, no, that's the way that I am too. Because like most of my weight is in my belly. Because like everything else is skinny. Oh, are you kidding me? That's why we have to wait. I swear, every time I want to open up Magic, it has to update. Okay, update. Uh-oh. We have reached CP. Okay, is that better now? I know that my mic cut out recently. I don't know why. Well, I do know why too. It's because like it reached like 100 uh percent, and it normally does that. Fixed. Okay, gotcha. Okay, it says it's running, but where is it running? I hear it struggle, but it's not too bad. Oh yeah, this baby doesn't know when it wants to happen. Actually, that sounded wrong when I said it that way. Um, this doesn't know what it wants to do, I guess. All right, so let me stop it because that clearly did not load like it was supposed to. Uh, all right, let's try to play it again. You got to be kidding me. Okay, so every time I decide, if I even decide that I want to do anything with Steam, here's a fun fact if you're streaming. Always check to see if you have to do an update. Because if you have to do an update, then it's better to go ahead and catch it before you stream. It's better to catch it before you stream. Because this son of a gun decided to tell me that we're going to process Vulkan shaders. Once again, this is insane. So, unless we could play Mega Man Legacy Collection. Yeah, what's up with that anyhow? Valve does such wonderful things with Linux Proton and their Steam Deck, but yeah, Steam Client does not work right in Linux. What's going on in Myth? Is it because the avatar is moving? Is it because the mouth movement is scary? Settings, precast shaders. Oh, I got you. Well, let's look into settings. Let's see what we can do there. Probably under downloads. Vogue, welcome back. How's it going? Yeah, I guess we could disable shader pre-caching. Okay, so we did that. It's the last tab in Steam client settings. No, I found it under downloads. Because the last tab in settings is music. Let's see what's going on here. Just had a test, might pass, might fail, I really don't know. Well, let's hope that you pass, my dude. We believe in you. Okay? Well, you got this. Let's see. Code editors, I'm between Zed, VS Codium, and NeoVim. All right, let me address the other things real quick, then I'll get back to everybody. These are my settings. Okay, so this is the screen. Let's see. So I've heard about Zed, haven't really used it. VS Codium, I think might have used it, if it's the same one that I'm thinking of. NeoVim, I've used it before, and it would be worth checking over again. Rubel Vor, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. It really depends on what you want to use. Like, do you want something that's like, if we're talking about base Debian, like just the foundational Debian versus, or like vanilla Debian versus vanilla Arch, or I may actually be saying that wrong. Regular Debian versus vanilla Arch. Let me say it that way. Debian is good if you want stable and secure. You don't want to update very often. Arch is for bleeding edge if you want to have the latest and up to date, though it has some drawbacks to that. It really just depends on if you are willing to babysit your distribution or not. I personally go for something that is Arch or Arch based. But I have used Debian before, and I do recommend Debian to people. It's pretty good. Let's see. Really is moved. Thanks for believing in me. Yeah, no problem. No, I haven't tried Zed. I've heard of it though. Let's see. Oh wow, yeah. We're getting into conversation about this. So Debian is more widely adopted and has the biggest market share. Let's say that is true. Which I think actually Ubuntu may share or maybe it's just a misconception that I have, but it seems like to me that I guess in a different world, Ubuntu would have like the biggest market share because that's what everything is based off of. So Debian is based off of Ubuntu, but like everything else, basically a majority of things fall into the category of being based off of Ubuntu. So like for Debian to have the biggest market share is kind of surprising to me. Let me just put it that way. Zed is awesome. It's a native app for Linux/Mac and isn't using Electron. Gotcha. I just want to use Linux as a desktop OS for a regular computer user. Yeah, I would definitely say go for Debian then. If you just want like a regular desktop, you want to, have your choice between GNOME or KDE, which you can do the same in Arch. But if you want to be like just a regular computer user, just go with Debian, I would say. Significantly faster than VS Codium or VS Code in my experience. Yeah, so like I said before in the stream, I usually use um I blanked out for a second. I use Genie. Uh Mint is the default for new Linux users. Yeah, I would it's normally one that I would recommend for a beginner user. Most everyone would agree that it's the one that's like a go-to for new users. Debian is pretty good and reliable, but if you're using the newest hardware, definitely Arch. I can't agree with you more. I don't see a reason to use Mint instead of just using Ubuntu or just default Debian. Mint just comes with pre-installed software that you might not want in their own desktop environment. Um, isn't wait, isn't that gonna be true no matter what you use? No, I think that's like no matter what you use, you're gonna have like pre-installed software. Like the reason why you have pre-installed software is generally one of two reasons. It's either because of your desktop environment or it's because of your distribution. And more often than not, it is your desktop environment that is including all of the pre-installed software that you might not want or need. Uh, Fedora is also beginner friendly and is a viable alternative to Debian. Um, I mean, it's the way that I've heard Fedora described. I've only used Fedora once. Fedora, to me, has been described as being, um, like a mix between Arch and Debian in the sense of stability and updating and security. It's like this mix between it. Um, I'll just move on because I don't know. I don't know how much I would agree with it being beginner friendly, but uh, with that being said, it is worth trying it out. So yeah, I would try it out. See how that works out. Uh, Debian is not a beginner distro. You're dealing with outdated dependency fixing. Uh, I also agree with that. Debian is like, I don't know. I don't want to say too much about Debian because I think Debian is good for certain use cases, but um, you definitely want to start like for me, for example, I start off with Pop OS. With that being said, you want to start off with a beginner distro, something that will get your feet warm uh into the Linux sphere, if you will. Um, yeah, if you aren't interested in doing the Linux hobby, learning, messing around with your OS often, then Debian or something other than Arch is likely more your speed. Yep. Fedora is more bleeding edge than Debian, so it's a good balance between Arch and Debian. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, was that like most people consider it like a good balance. Ubuntu forcing Snap is the reason everyone is switching from it. Um, I mean, it's a reason. I don't know if it's the main reason. Because like for me, the reason why I didn't like using Ubuntu was just because there were too many bugs with it. Like every time I install it, like it just, on top of that, you got like the problem with Snap. I don't really care for Snap all that much. Uh, just like their whole ecosphere. I don't really care for it all that much. So yeah, I guess it's the same reasons. It all falls back to Snap in some way or another, I guess. Unless you're using Arch plus Tyler Window Manager, you'll probably get some default apps. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Arch or even some of the Arch-based ones, as long as you're doing like a window manager or whatever, like it's better. Like as far as not having default apps come with it. I agree that Fedora is extremely optimized, at least for my laptop. Gotcha. I'm on Fedora. Yeah, they rolled kernel 6.15 this weekend for new hardware. I get insane battery life. Fedora is a lot more corporate. Red Hat, they are good, consistent, organized. They do a lot of good. They're more geared towards commercial, professional, that sort of thing in general. So then let me ask you guys this. Do you think it is possible to not like Red Hat, but like Fedora at the same time? Because if Fedora is just something that came from Red Hat, do you not like it because it's a Red Hat product or something that came from Red Hat? I just wonder, because like I don't think a lot of people think about that, because like they'll say, oh, I hate Red Hat, but then they'll say, oh, I like Fedora. Learn DNF, too lazy to learn a new system right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could ever get into DNF. I really don't ever want to go back to APT either, or apt. I don't really want to go back to that. I don't know. I much more prefer the Pac-Man stuff. It is possible. I can like the product, but hate the person that made it. Gotcha. Sure, I have an intense loathing of corporations. Their whole existence and purpose offends me. Alrighty then. Uh, I feel like that's valid. I I think the corporations, it depends on what corporation it is for me. I don't really care for Red Hat personally. I would rather use Chrome OS than had used Red Hat. But yeah, in general, I'm just not a fan of corporations either. Um, let's see, but I'm gonna use what the corporations make if I can. If I find any bits of what they produce useful, I'm gonna use what I can. If I don't gotta pay for it or support the corporation, especially. Right, right. No, I totally understand where you're coming from with that. Um, let's see, an unavoidable evil. Well, yeah, usually, like at some point, like products end up growing into businesses or corporations, right? So, like at some point, like they've got to make progress if they want to get anywhere with the product. So, like, it turns into a corporation. I mean, let's take McDonald's for example. McDonald's was a company that was owned by two people, and they weren't looking to expand. This one dude comes by one day, and he says, "I think I could get you in more locations." So they hired this dude reluctantly to go around, put in all these McDonald's. The business starts growing, and eventually, it becomes a corporation. But at one point, McDonald's was like a really good. It was a really good business. But at some point, if you ever want to grow, you do have to consider the possibility that you will become a corporation. I don't know, just food for thought, I guess. Literally food for thought. Just give me a minute, you guys. All right. So many things we use daily came from evil corporations. Most of the problems happen is when corporations acquire things. They just buy them and run whatever into the ground, all the while extracting everything from the users they can. They don't care. I think there's some truth to that. I think it is like I think the issue, like especially with Disney, is that way. So yeah, to a degree, I would agree with that statement. McDonald's making cardboard edible. Hey, that's some pretty good cardboard. Oh, I'm not supposed to let people know that. Sorry. I don't eat cardboard, you guys. I have to say that. My manager told me I had to say that. I don't eat cardboard. Let's see. Is this a gaming stream? Well, it could have been, but there's too many things going on with my computer. Like I'm getting a lot of crackling in my audio today for some reason, and it's wanting me to download like shaders and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just not something that we can do today, unfortunately. Unless I want to play something retro. I'll never, under corporate policies, like they know the rules they make is just BS, but they do it anyway. Oh, I think you meant to say you'll never understand corporate policies. Yeah, no, I get that. No dual booting in my computer. Welcome back, Joseph. Sorry the dual booting didn't work out for you. But yeah, tomorrow, I don't know. Tomorrow's gonna be one of two things. We'll either do some gaming or we will uh figure out what distribution to review. It'll be one of the two. I didn't feel like doing a distribution today. I'm still sick and everything, and I just don't. I would rather just talk with you guys about Linux. I did not attempt to dual boot. I just decided not to do it at this time. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. I do want to take the time to go ahead and let you guys know that if you like the stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoy my content, consider subscribing today because that does help out the channel as well as myself. If you would like to get in further contact with me, you can join the Discord. Or if you don't like Discord, you can join the Matrix room. And, you know, like I said, you can get in contact with me. You can post your risings. You can post your products that you're working on. You could also talk with other Linux users. And, yeah, just all that fun stuff. I can still technically dual boot into Windows 10, but haven't done it in months and months. I'll probably get rid of it once I set up a Windows 10 VM. What's the point of dual booting different Linux distros? You know, that's probably a good question. Because, like, up until I read that comment, I thought it was going to be more like, what's the point of dual booting in general? But as far as distros go, I don't. I mean, unless you just really. Okay, let me put it this way. You have to really enjoy. Okay, let's take two extremes. Let's say you like Debian, but then you also really like Arch. I could see someone dual dual booting different Linux distros for that case. Like they go to Debian and they say, "Oh, I really like their repositories. Uh, I like doing certain things with Debian." But then it's like, "Oh, well, I want this bleeding edge stuff, so let me go with Arch." Now, personally, I say choose one or the other, but that's just me. Um, why set up a toolbox with a Debian container? Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't want to dual boot. I haven't tried out Windows WSL, but I heard it's good. Um, yeah. So I I think it's pointless to dual boot in general. I don't think it's a good idea to dual boot. Like I've dual booted before, and it's like especially if you're running Windows as one of your operating systems, like you run into this issue where you can install a Windows update one day and then it just wipe out your grub, and then you won't be able to access uh, your distribution. So I just don't like it. I would choose Debian over Arch. Um, yeah, like I said, it depends more on um what you what you want to get out of your distribution. Is what I would say. So like everyone's gonna have different case scenarios for Debian over Arch and Arch over Debian, etc. Same. Oh, welcome to the stream, Toto LM. How's it going? Uh, yeah, exactly. These things are falling out of favor now. Dual boot because of the newer options now available. Yeah, exactly. I have a Windows 10 virtual machine. Cool, cool. I don't really plan on going back to Windows. I have found that I can do everything that I need to with Linux at this point in my life. Um, Windows Boot Manager is so bad. Couldn't agree with you more. I think it is. I think it is also trash. I don't know. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't do it because like it's just such a pain. Because like if you ever want to, like even like taking that aside, like as far as it wiping your grub, let's say that it doesn't wipe your grub. Okay, well you still have to reboot your system, and then you have to like manually figure out, okay, am I gonna select this one or am I gonna select this one? And it's like each time you want to do it, you're gonna have to reboot your system, and it's just like, if you're only going in there long enough to play a game or whatever, I just don't see the point. Like, I can understand if there's like 10 different things that you want to do in Windows that you can't do in Linux, but if it's just for that one game, like it's like I was saying yesterday, why not just use GeForce Now? A lot of people question me on that. They're like, why would I want to stream the game? And I'm like, well, why would you want to use Windows long enough to play your game and then go back to it? Like, that's the part that I don't get. It's like if you like Linux enough, like you're not gonna want to go to Windows. Like it's gonna be pointless to go to Windows if you are enjoying Linux. So like that's why you find the alternatives. I don't know. I like Windows because I can watch movies or YouTube videos in 120 FPS thanks to frame generation. That I don't have experience in that as far as frame generation is concerned. Never even heard of it. It's cool that you can play in 120 FPS. I personally don't see the point in going over 60 FPS, but that's just me. Personally, that's just me. Uh, I think, like, especially in video games, like, I don't see the point in going over 60 FPS, um, but yeah, no, I don't know how that works in Linux. How if you would be able to watch it in 120. One time I need Windows when BIOS update because Acer puts these in an exe and it doesn't work in wide. Oh, gotcha. You know, I have never updated BIOS in my life. I wouldn't even know how to do it. That might be something I might need to do one day, though. Just figure out how to do the BIOS updates. Maybe I won't have that hard of a time with my laptop that I'm getting soon. Uh, let's see. OEM support for Linux sucks. Everything is on Windows. Yeah. Yeah. Enable Steam Player Proton. Okay, what is this now? What are we doing? Why does your avatar mouth look like that? Because I drew it that way. Uh, I am experimenting today with something called Honk, Honk. I'm experimenting with that app and seeing how well it works. I'm going to have to probably edit the mouth movements, of course. This was just something that I put together at last minute. Let's see. There are boards with BIOS update over LAN. Of course, this laptop does not. Looks kind of creepy. Believe it or not, you're not the first person to say that today. I don't know. Does everyone think it's creepy? I mean, I think it's just because of the way that I drew the mouth. Because I need to figure out like the different mouth positions and like just draw them individually. Because like a majority of these are like the same, but yeah. I actually had to update my BIOS on the latest motherboard in order to support the CPU I put in. First time I needed to update my BIOS for something, though I have many a BIOS over the years before. Nice. For laptops, battery life is generally better on Windows because firmware optimizations are only done for Windows, and the only reason that more than 90% are going to use Windows. Let's see. My laptop gets 6 hours on Windows and 15 on Fedora. So for me, my battery doesn't last very long. My battery, they claim that it's like 6 hours that you get out of it, but I really only get 2 to 3 hours out of mine. I have no idea what you guys are doing to optimize your battery, but like, I I guess it's because of all the optimizations that I had to do for performance. So maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah, Windows 11 is very optimized. Yeah. That bloated spyware killed my battery. Bro. Let's see. 8 hours on KDE. Man, that's crazy how y'all get all those, all that battery life. TLP script. Yeah. I get better battery life on Fedora than in Windows. Yeah, I think I got about the same battery life in Windows as I did in Linux. Um, It might have been a little bit better on Windows. I don't remember right off. If you don't debloat Windows and remove all the tracking and telemetry, it's going to be bad. Okay, so maybe your battery is cooked. Maybe your goose is cooked. Yeah, no, I get that. You know what we're gonna do? I'm going to get a couple things here. Uh, let's see. Just so that way we've got something going on the screen. Give me just a second, you guys. And then what was the other one? Kava. That's what it was. All right, and then let's close out of this. And then we're going to do ASCII Aquarium. Get a nice little fishies there. How y'all like that? I just realized I'm probably not going to have the other going on. Let's see. I wonder how good ARM Linux compared to Mac. I don't know what ACPI does. So what editors y'all use? I use Genie if I'm using a GUI. If I am in the terminal, I use Vim. Yeah, so not too exciting. Is CashOS basically the Linux Mint of Arch? I don't know if I would say that it is the Linux Mint of Arch. I think it's more known for optimizations, like for performance. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I mean, I would recommend it to. I only recommend Arch and Arch based distributions. I normally only recommend to people that are more well versed in Linux. But if you want something that's like, I guess everything's pretty much already done for you in terms of optimizations, then yeah, I would go with CashOS. I'm super basic. I just use Kate. Can't bother to learn a new one, and I don't like extensions. Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from with that. No, that was like, I think that was one of my problems yesterday with the, um, with like the stream was like, I didn't like. I think part of my problem yesterday was just I didn't like having to use extensions to get what I wanted out of the program, out of the product. But I'm trying to think of like a scenario in which I like extensions. Um, as far as text editors go, I don't really need any extensions for text editors. I need something that's like just simple that'll just get me to where I want to go. You know. Um, But yeah, so I want to. Oh, then you need a Toyota, bruh. No, I'd rather have a Honda. If we're going that route, no, I'd rather have a Honda. How are you streaming and only using 700 kilobytes per second? According to OBS, I'm using around 4,600 kilobytes per second. Um, so I don't know. I don't know why it's different on there, because that updates. Well, I think it seems that OBS only updates like every 3 or 4 seconds, sometimes 5 seconds, to where this updates like every second. So if you were to add it up, I'm sure it would equal to like around 4,600. But no, this stream is around 4,600 kilobytes per second, according to OBS. This 80. Beware, Arch people. There is a broken Linux firmware update. Thank you for letting me know. It will probably be a few days before I update my system. Also, welcome back to the stream, Voice. Glad to have you. This 80 Camry is indestructible. Yeah. No, I've never had an experience with Toyotas. Most of my experiences have been with Ford vehicles. You know what? Since we have the people here, I want to ask you guys something. So, we talked earlier about using Honk, and I'm using Honk right now to have my mouth movements show up as I'm talking. Now, some of you have said that this was creepy, but what is it? Well, there's two things. Like, do a majority of you think that it's creepy? And like, what could I do to improve upon it? Because like, I don't want to just disable it altogether. Like, I want to be able to have a moving avatar. Like, I just want to know how I could improve it. It's hard to beat Japanese reliability. Yeah, man, they know what they're doing. The Ford EcoBlow, running timing belt in oil. I think it's goofy, not creepy. Fair enough. No, I'm good. I don't want to use my face. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't like sharing my face. Let's see. I personally don't care about such superficial avatars. They're not there, real, not real, whatever you like. Gotcha. Well, that's what I'm doing now, is VTubing. The only thing is that no, there's not a full face, but it is doing the VTuber stuff. EcoBoost engines runs with oil belt. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know that much about cars, if I'm going to be honest. Use a waifu avatar? No, thank you. I'm good. I don't need that kind of toxicity in my life. Linux Waifu's untapped market. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Seriously. Oh, you know what I could do though? No, I won't do it. I'll do it some other time. But like, I could show you all the different presets that exist in the program. And I'll tell you what, there's one of them. I think it's called David. That will really scare you because it's just a statue with a movable lips. No, we don't need the arch femboys. No, thank you. We're good. No, thank you. I don't want to tap into that market. You're not seeing the big picture, man. I'm telling you. A waifu penguin. And I'm telling you that I don't want to do it. To be honest, I didn't even notice the talking face until you mentioned it. My brain filters these details. Listen, fair enough. No, I just wanted to know, like, because, I've had, like, a few people come in here today and they're like, wow, it's so creepy and everything. And I'm like, okay, but you're not giving me tips on how to make it better. Like, it's one thing to just say that, like, it's creepy or whatever, but like if you're gonna have comments about it, like at least give me something constructive that I can go off of so I can make it better, because like I want to be able to have something on the screen when I'm talking. I don't want it to just be blank unless like it doesn't matter. Like if it doesn't matter, then I can just exit out of Honk because it'll save on resources too. So I mean, I don't mind either way. I just, you know, I just like being able to, while I have you guys here, I don't know, I just like being able to some degree, accommodate, right? Like to be able, so that way everyone can be all cool and enjoy the stream. The customer is very good at pointing the problem. The customer isn't good at solving them. No, I agree. I definitely agree. Uh, Kiana Penguin, VTuber Penguin, actual cute. Okay. Cool. I don't know. I personally go for more of a like maybe that's what's weird about it too is that like I go for a more cartoony perspective about my art. I draw in cartoons. So like I do have a different um I do have a different take on it. If I was picking an actual serious thing like that for myself, I would probably just choose some kind of uh oscilloscope. Isn't oh no, I'm thinking of kaleidoscope. Wait a minute. If I'm thinking of kaleidoscopes, then what is a oscilloscope? Huh. What am I thinking of then? What are you trying to summon here? Picture your voice in waveform? Oh, so what you mean is, what you're saying is, you'd probably just have Kava running in the background like, oh, you know what? I just realized something. I didn't back up my Kava files. Oopsie. So yeah, you guys just get all these bars. Yeah, it is VU meters. Yeah. All right, since I don't have that, let's go back to the, wait, what am I doing here? Okay, let's go back to ASCII query. But no, I have my Cava. Excuse me. I have my Cava all figured out. But like for some reason, I just didn't update the files. But same theory of using the audio data to map. Yeah, I actually thought about bringing back Waybar Cava into my Waybar instead of using the default. But like, if you use Waybar Cava or Waybar dash Cava is what it is. If you use that, that's the only way you're going to be able to use Cava within your Waybar. But if you do that, then you have to consider the fact that um, you're going to have a slow response time whenever you go to reload Waybar. But otherwise, it pulls it up like it's supposed to. So, like, I can show you guys, for example, the way that this would work. So, like, actually, I don't know that I want to do that, but I think it's Waybar dash Cava. No, it's in Peru. Peru, and then we just oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to install Chaotic AUR. Someone recommended me that yesterday. All right, so it's going to be building a little bit, so audio may cut out, whatever. But I'll just show you guys what Waybar Cava does. It's different. So like it loads back up. Oh, you know what? It's probably because I've got it disabled. So let me just go back into the coding and enable it. And yes, that is the culprit. So it could have worked the other way, but does Cava not work anymore? No, it should work. Hold on a minute. Cava config. Okay, this is embarrassing. Normally that does work though. Let's do kill that and then we'll just restart. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure that out off stream. I don't know what's going on with it, but normally, if you have the Cava like this, it should show up in the middle here. I don't know why it's not, unless it's something having to do over here. Which no, that's pretty good. It was me. Let's do it. It's just 4 commands. Sorry I didn't read that sooner. Now I've missed the context in that. All right. Okay, so what do I do about this then? Like, yeah, it does. It's supposed to work by default. But it's supposed to be between workspaces and the clock. So I'm just thinking if I have to reset my, like if I have to reboot or something like that. Normally you don't have to reboot. Normally it'll just work like it's supposed to. But yeah, Waybar-Cava is going to be the only way that you can do it. Yeah, so what it says is that if the Kava module is not working in WayBar, it may be due to WayBar being built without Kava support. So that's the reason why I recommended you go to the AUR and download WayBar-Kava, which we already did that, but it's just not, the Kava module just isn't really working. So what we can do, actually, let's see if we can pull up the Kava config. And then let's just do that. Still, what would make this not pull up? See, we're getting some use out of Genie today. You get to see how I do all of my editing and coding and stuff. So, not too bad. What if I was to move Kava and we just move it to like right here? Would it show up then? No. Load it up again. Speedrun TTY. Yeah. Um. Oh, maybe you know what? Maybe it's because my source. Maybe yeah, it's maybe just because of my source. Auto. Let's see. Method is Popwire. Oh yeah, one good thing to note too is that I do have my Kava config in my GitHub, so you guys can actually use any of my configs that I've got if you need to. We can actually do that right now. As a matter of fact, we can download. Uh, let's see, what is it? GitHub.com/Zippix. Go to. Oh yeah, I still got to update all my information there too. Let's see. .config. Kava. Config, and then we'll just download the raw file. We'll download it to .config Kava. Let's see, we'll cancel that. Download the raw file. .config Kava. Save. Replace. There we go. And then you said something about sudo system CTL. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. We can look up the status of Kava. Kava.service could not be found. But let me make sure that Kava actually works like the... Okay, there we go. There's my actual config. So I use like the waves and all that good stuff for that. Yeah, so for some reason it just doesn't, and I think I've got that a little bit too high because the waves aren't doing what I want them to do. But Kava does work. We do know that much. But it's a matter of it not working in, let's see, what is it? WayBar dash. Okay, yeah, it doesn't really recognize it as that. So Let's see, Waybar Cava not showing Cava. You know what we could do though? I think. Let me see if this works. We do system CTL status. Maybe we do Waybar dash Cava. Still saying it can't be found. So it must be something about the way that we're running that it doesn't like. Oh, you know what? I may need to install libcava. Let me see if I've even got that. Libcava. Because there are some dependencies that it needs. Peru. Old version. Oh, there's a new version of it. Cool, cool. And then let's refresh. No, we don't have the bar still. But it needed updating. So, it updated like it was supposed to. But I know that libcava is one that you really need to have. Let's see, Waybar Cava. Hyperland. Yeah, let me see what the other dependencies were. I mean, I would think that I got all the dependencies. Actually, what we could do, hide on silence, false, sleep timer, it's 5 seconds. True. No, that didn't work out very well. I can just put lines on these. And then, because everything else should be fine. No? So what I could do is we'll do Peru, and then we could just do Waybar Cava. Well, wait a minute though. I did install Waybar Cava, no? Waybar Cava, yeah. Yes. I don't think it likes to recognize it. All right. Give me just a second. All right, we're back. It had to do a lot of compiling, so that's why it took a little while. Yeah, so yeah, there's that. What you mean, Clara? What you mean? All right. So let me catch up on chat, then we'll look back at the other stuff. Let's see. Actually, let's try reloading Waybar. See if that helped. There we go. Okay, so all I had to do was just it didn't install right the first time, so we had to install it a second time. Let's see. Doing test in Fedora VM. After pulling my hair, I found out the VirtualBox needs to be uninstalled before applying a kernel release update. Then reboot and reinstall VirtualBox. Gotcha. Mint for beginners is what I would say. Unless you want like something that is like where everyone's going to be at, like, or as far as like your forums are concerned. If you have a problem, then you'll want to go with Ubuntu, because a majority of your help is going to be there. Yeah, the audio cut out because my CPU was going at 100%, and that's because of all the compiling that it had to do. So that's why. Oh yeah, you have to get to work. You look forward to my transition to Waifu Penguin VTuber? Sure, buddy. Sure. Also, Virus, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Hope it's easy to use. The difference you'll notice between most Ubuntu and Mint is desktop environment. Ubuntu uses GNOME and Mint uses their own Cinnamon or XFCE depending on what you choose. Gotcha. Mint is based on Ubuntu, so it's pretty much the same, and offers more stability and ease of use. Yeah, I would. The thing is that I would still recommend Mint, but it still has, like, you still get a lot of help with Ubuntu, because most people, like, you type in something and then there's the Ubuntu forums, like if you do a Google search for it. So let's see. Mint is based on Ubuntu, so it's pretty much the same and offers stability. Oh yeah, I already read that. What's the best for graphic user interface? For what though? Like, what are you trying to use? If you switch for Windows for the first time, Mint might be better. Yes, I would agree, because Ubuntu is going to ship with GNOME, which is kind of a Mac feel. So you may not want to do that unless you want to use something like Kubuntu. You could do that and then just use KDE version of that. I'm switching from Windows 10. What are you going to be switching to? Let's see. Mint, Cinnamon. Yep. Anything KDE Plasma. Yeah, that's pretty much what most people would recommend. Yeah, Ubuntu has a big community and a lot of support, and it's generally good for newer hardware, and if you want access to the latest software and technologies more quickly. Yeah, pretty much. All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and exit out of that, and then we'll go back to our ASCII Aquarium. Whew, man. The only thing I don't like in Ubuntu is GNOME. Right, right. And Duin OS is very familiar if you come from Windows. I don't think I've ever heard that before, but that would be something to look into as well. Is Kubuntu still a thing? I almost tried that one when Ubuntu first got real popular. Um, I don't know if it's still a thing, but I know that most people like if they still want to use Ubuntu, that's what they would go with. Or like if they want to use like the KDE version of Ubuntu, let me put it that way. There's just one guy behind it. Yeah. Uh Gotcha. KDE Neon, the no nonsense KDE. Yep. A lot of people here are fans of KDE. Seems like. I don't recommend a Linux OS that copies Windows UI 1.1 because it makes new users think Linux works just like Windows and they'll wonder why stuff isn't working. Uh yeah, well that's the thing you got to realize too when you come to Linux, you have to understand that Windows is and Mac is not Linux and Linux is not Windows or Mac. So you gotta have to go in with that understanding, and then things will start to make more sense because you can actually start using it the way that you need to use it. Man, I wish this cold would go away. But yeah, man. Usually, I don't know. I still would recommend Linux Mint, um, for sure. Sub 4% market share. Yeah, man. It's all about that 4%. Oh, KDE Neon is a no-no. Use Fedora instead. Oh, what's wrong with KDE Neon? I mean, I've never used it before, but what's wrong with it? Man. Gotta do our stretches, y'all. Gotta stretch them hamstrings. Oh, I have no idea if they rolled their own OS. Plasma 6 on Wayland has issues on Ubuntu base, and KDE Neon tends to be unstable. Gotcha. Project Banane, but nothing there yet. Gotcha. Wow, that was a huge fish. All right. Um, but yeah. So, what are you guys up to today? What do y'all got planned for today? Anything exciting? Yeah, one moment, please. Space Invader, that ship. Coffee, roll up, hide from the heat. Oh yeah, definitely. Try to get away from that heat. It's supposed to be, uh, yeah, it's supposed to be pretty hot today. Resetting a Windows 10 machine and trying to figure out the built-in back utilities. Maybe upgrading to 11 if I can. Sounds like quite the task. I wish you luck, my friend. Uh, no plan, just another boring day. Maybe learn some more NVIM. A nice walk later. Yeah, no, I get that. Today's my day off, so I'm really just hanging out mostly. Got to do laundry later today and probably try to get some sleep and stuff. So, oh yeah, running from step parents' house. They said to come over. I'm still looking for excuses. Bro, tell them that you're watching Zippix. Tell them that it's like really important. Like, no, don't tell them that. Uh, no, but that would be funny. Just be like, yeah, I can't come over today because I'm watching Zippix. They'll be like, who in the world is Zippix? Let's see. They need tech help with their PC expiring with Windows 10. Oh no! Oh, you're the person that they call on for help, right? Is that what it is? Because I'm the same person that gets called for help on if the family ever needs like tech help. Wow. I wish you luck. I don't want to have that talk since their junk is too old for support. Yeah, no, definitely. It'd be like, well, mom, uh, the thing is that you need to quit being cheap, and you're gonna have to upgrade because it's time to upgrade. You know, uh, yeah, tech curse, free support, yeah, basically. Hey, a neat Ask Aquarium. Welcome back, Vil. Welcome to the chat. Glad to have you here. Yeah, we decided to run at we decided to run this Ask Aquarium. It's a 10-year-old mini PC, and now they. Uh oh. What you mean you disconnected? Oh, okay. No TPM, no CPU support. Gotcha. Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm getting notifications on this monitor today. Out of all things, must have been when I reset Waybar. I still got to make the transition over to Streamlabs because I don't think the commands are working still. Sneak on Linux is struggling to run 30 FPS ASCII Aquarium. No, I don't think it's struggling necessarily. I think. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is because this thing's running at like 60, 70% CPU. That's using way too much ASCII Aquarium stuff. They 70-year-old learning them Windows 11. Okay. Yeah, speaking of parents, I'm actually speaking to my mom right now. It's nice because like for years, she would not use texting, and now she finally will text, and she does it quite regularly. So it's actually nice. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right though. I guess it is struggling to run it. Like no, this I got 2 days, you guys. 2 days before I can order the computer. 2 days. That's all we got. Kind of crazy how they coded it like they overlap by layers, yet this is all happening in a loop printing pattern text. Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I like running ASCII Aquarium. I think it definitely gives something to look at and stuff. Because I'm not able to play the games that I want to today unless I do something retro. So I figured this would be the next best thing because people apparently they want to see like the screen moving and all that good stuff. I'm still working out how I want to do my VTuber stuff. It may not even be a thing anymore. I'm still debating on that. But I don't know if I can just get the mouth movements right, I think it would be better. Just I need to spend more time with it. Um, but yeah, um, even Zipic's face is lagging. You know what I think it is? I think it is. I think it's just because I'm streaming and doing all that other. It's because my computer is not. It's either my computer or it's Honk itself. And if it's Honk, then we'll probably just end up going back to ViaDoTube Mini. But uh, what was the name of that? Found it. It was Insane Aquarium Deluxe. I don't know what that is. I was using ASCII Aquarium. Oh, are you talking about like ViaDoTube Mini? Because that's what I've been using. I've been using ViaDoTube. Oh, it's an old game. Right, gotcha. Oh, okay. I missed your question. Sorry about that. So your question was, anyone remember that fish aquarium game from the '90s? I don't remember that game. I'm sorry. No, I understood what you meant, Bill. But yeah, yeah. So there's that. We have hit the well. We're way beyond our 2 hour mark, but uh, let me just go ahead and take this time right now. We're still gonna stream for a little while. I think we're gonna stream for like maybe another 30 minutes or so. But yeah, if you guys like the stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed my content, consider subscribing today. It helps out me and the channel. If you would like to get in contact with me further, if you don't want to wait for YouTube posts, because I will start to use those a little bit more, then you can contact me on Discord. You can contact me in Matrix as well. You could also like talk with other Linux users in those spaces. You can post your risings, your projects that you're working on, and all that fun stuff. So it's a good time. It's definitely a good time. I only had my computer experience around 2008. Yeah, so my first computer experience was I was probably 6 years old, and I was playing on a Windows 98 computer. I ended up I was playing this one game and I was like really good at it, but I wasn't allowed to play with it. But I don't know. I guess it was just because they didn't realize that I was going to be really good with computers. So, um, but yeah, 6 years old playing Windows 98. My first experience, I think, was with 98, but I also used 95 back in the day too. Um, I was definitely like, if I had to look back at, oh, sorry, I just had to pause for a second. I heard some crunching. I was trying to figure out where that came from. Um, I don't know. I think it was just customizable like back then, and now Windows is just like, here you go, this is what you get type of deal. Like there is no customization. So, first on NZXT Phantom 410, AMD FX 6300, R9 280X. Gotcha. Um, let's see. My first gaming, I put that in air quotes, gaming PC was like it was like a RTX. No, that's the I had no, it wasn't RTX. It was ITX, I think. I'm trying to figure out what that little desktop would be called. But I got one off of eBay, and it was like it lasted me for a couple of years, and then I ended up upgrading to like a HP Pavilion, and it was like a I got it was like a 3.6 gigahertz processor, 4 cores. It had like 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it had like Radeon graphics.
It's like Radeon Vega 8 graphics or something like that, and then I also had my 1050 Ti in there. Yeah, I think it was GTX maybe. I don't remember right off. I can say you are fairly old now. My first OS with computers was Vista, then I saw XP. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I often get asked how old I am. I am 31. So you can still do a ton, but it looks very yank to set up. Gotcha. The lay flats at school. Pentium 4 for 10 finger typewriting. Wouldn't consider that computing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the thing about like, especially when I was in fifth grade. Like we didn't have the best of like that's the thing about schools. Schools don't necessarily have like the best of computers. Like they do what they can to get by. Like they just get recommended whatever they get recommended, but like they're never that great. Like their basic primary function, like you can do what you need to do with it, but it is what it is. Maybe with a different CPU turbo button to 166 megahertz, probably way older. Yeah, that's hard to think about. Like just the fact that like CPUs used to not run as fast as they do now. And then you got people that's got like these 12 core processors. And I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. I thought US schools had way better computers. I mean, maybe it was just my schools, but my schools didn't really like. They just got what they could get by with because they're cheap. Yeah, maybe now it's different because of like what it requires for you to use it, but I don't know. I mean, as far as school goes, I was in school in like the 2000s era. So, and then I was homeschooled when I was in high school. So, I wouldn't know anymore these days. Yeah, and that's the thing that like they were already ancient. Like they just that's how they were. Because like we would just get what we got. Aunt has a kid, they need to supply their own laptop. Yep. Um so here's a crazy idea. Uh oh yeah, at least a Core i5 with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte storage. Yeah, 16 gigabytes of RAM and the 1 terabyte of storage is like bare minimum for me. As far as the processor, it's different with me and the GPU, but like those are usually my standards for computers. That's what the school says they need for middle school. Wow, that's crazy to think about. But like, here's the thought. So, do you think that computers should be built for gaming at school? Probably a stupid question. I just wonder what how people would feel about that though. Kids smash PCs if they're supplied by the school. Yeah, yeah, that's probably why they go with something cheaper. Middle school just to use MS Paint, bro. Just to use MS Paint, even I don't know. Yeah, dang, I'm on 8 gigabytes of RAM here. Well, so how does that work out for you? Like, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I like having plenty of RAM in case, like, especially for VMs. But like, I don't know. I just wonder like how people get by on 8 gigs. But then again, I don't end up using, but like maybe a third of my RAM anyway. So what does it matter to me? Yeah, different use cases. No, I would agree. I have browser open in Spotify. I don't do much gaming besides retro games. Hey, we got a retro gamer too. Nice. Glad to see a fellow retro gamer. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I do. Like I'm pretty much just like sometimes I don't even watch YouTube, but there's a lot of times where all I do is just watch YouTube and do some coding and just like customizing my Linux computer. Like, that's all I really do. I don't do a whole lot. Like if I'm gaming, it's only because I'm streaming. Like that's just being real. Like if I'm gaming, it's because I'm on a stream. As RAM became cheaper, devs stopped optimizing their software as hardcore as they did in the 90s and 2000s. And then here we are. Yeah. RAM is soldered to the board would upgrade it, but it's all e-waster internals. I am trying to figure out if the only way that I'm going to know if this is soldered, because I was asked if the RAM was soldered. I don't think the RAM is soldered in this computer, but I would have to double check because I think there's a compartment where I could just remove the RAM. And if that's the case, then all I have to do is just stick it in my new laptop that I get, and it should work out just fine. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back for now. Um, you see, I am old. I played most of the retro games when they were new. I used to have a decent retro physical console collection too, but had to give it all up. No, I understand. I used to have a collection myself. Well, I still have a few games, but I had to sell a majority of my games. But yeah, I still have quite a collection. Just it's not as big as I once had it. Um, don't you think soldered RAM is better? Uh, I don't know. I've never thought about that. I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know. If it's a Lenovo with the screws under the keyboard, send it flying. Don't bother opening this. These clips break the moment you look at them. So it's not a Lenovo. It is a Neocon, I think is how you pronounce it. It's off brand. But there's like a thing underneath it. There's like two compartments where I think I could remove them, and because I think one of them's the hard drive and the other one's RAM, if I'm not mistaken. It has something to do with the distance to the CPU. Can be better. Soldered RAM is faster than the removable ones, as far as I know. But it has its disadvantages. Right. Yeah, like you wouldn't be able to upgrade it if it's soldered. I would, I would think. I could be wrong because if let's say that it is soldered, you might be able to just unsolder it and then solder a new one in, maybe. And if you're on Apple hardware, they're doing their whole own thing with RAM. Yeah. Never had a RAM stick fail, but that point of failure is there. Yeah, so interesting story. This one time, I ordered some RAM off of Amazon. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So the story that I got to tell is like this one time I ordered RAM off of Amazon, and one of them came, and or well, both sticks came, but like one of them did not work and the other one did. So it was a failure on delivery or something like that. And that was the only time I ever had RAM fail on me. I think there was another time, but it was like I was trying to see if it would work on another computer, and it wouldn't work on it, but it worked on a different computer. So yeah, they need reballing if these RAM socks need to come out. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's either a heated station and a specialized tool, no home solder job. Oh, that's crazy to think about. Yeah, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I haven't actually seen RAM fail many times, only a handful at work when I was seeing a lot more RAM sticks in personal use. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. Yes, this is ASCII Aquarium. Yep, ASCII Aquarium. And then at the top, in my way bar, I got Kava going on too, which is partially the reason why I think I'm having issues because that's running at like 60 FPS as well. So that could be why I'm running like 70% GPU or CPU. Um, but yeah, it is ASCII Aquarium. Right, right. All right, people, got to do your stretches. I want to see you touch your toes and then come back up. How many of you can do that these days? I know I can only reach my knees, so that's a little joke, of course, but yeah, I don't bend that far like I used to. Like I can bend all the way down if I need to, but like I don't know, do I want to is a whole nother issue. But that's why you got to do your stretches. Got to do your stretches, your exercises, so you can reach those hard to reach places, like touching the floor, for example. Now playing around with my Debian 13 testing virtual machine. Gotcha. Hopefully that goes well for you. I would like to see how Debian works out for you. Like, well, with I don't know when the new Debian's coming out, or if it's already out, but uh, I would like to test it out at some point. I think I was never very flexible. I never stretch. Too small to reach anything. Uh, Lads, I think we have found Ronnie Coleman's successor. Oh, gotcha. Nah, if you're talking about me, I'm more like Richard Simmons. I like the Richard Simmons of exercising, I guess. Uh, I'm going to put Debian 13 on at least two of my computers. The Fedora computers may switch to that as well. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that goes well. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out for you. Because, I mean, I like Debian. I just don't really use it these days as my go-to. I actually ran Debian on my little homebrew server for the longest while, but moved away from it these last 6 months. It was causing me more issues than Arch. Yeah, so I felt like I don't know. I felt like at some point, like Debian was great, but it was at the same time it was limiting. But I understand why they were limiting. Like as far as my creativity, my customizations and stuff like that, it was the reason it was very limiting for me, and I know why. And it was simply because that's not what Debian's for. Debian's like if you want something stable and secure, and you just want something that you really don't have to touch the update button on that much, for like 2 years. So, no, I definitely get that. Oh, what is this now? Are you dipping in FPS on OBS? I don't know. Do we need to go back to the code and like change it to 30? Yeah, I guess just change it back to 30, but like it's going to be slow, I think. Yeah, it brought it back up, so there we go. No, it's still going down. So that really did not matter. So if we put it on 60, it's not going to matter. I think it's just the fact that I've got it running, like as far as Kava is concerned. I think that's the main issue. Still no word on when Debian 13 would get a stable release. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be. Well, yeah, of course when it's ready. But I'm trying to figure out like how long it would. Like I think it's supposed to be this year. I think that we get Debian 13. I could be wrong, but it's usually like every 2 years. How can I access the config file for ASCII Aquarium? That's a good question. Let me see if it is in the .configs. It is not in the .configs. So let me do a quick search for you real quick. Aquarium config file. ASCII Aquarium does not use a traditional configuration file. It is a simple Perl script that runs directly in the terminal. You can customize its behavior using command line arguments or by modifying the script itself if needed. Okay, but then how do you get to the script? I don't know if you're on Discord or Matrix or whatever, but like if you are on one of those, I can like probably better assist you with that. There. No, I checked .config. It wasn't in there. You might be able to try var or something like that. All right. No worries. Just trying to help out. Pretty sure they mean just edit the user bin ASCII Aquarium directly. I mean, you could do that. I don't know. Let's check it out. Let's see if we can actually do that. What would it be like? User bin. Let's see if ASCII Aquarium even comes up. Oh yeah, there's the file right there. Or there's a file. I don't know if it's the one that we need, but there is a file for it. Let's see. There is a release candidate of Debian 13, max a year. Gotcha. Or I'll ping you on Discord at or 3 a.m. until you respond. Yeah, you can ping me. Yeah, there's no problem with that. You can do that, absolutely. I'll just get to it whenever I can get to it. Sometimes I am, yeah. Because so I work nights usually. So it's usually until like 2:30 is when I get off usually. Uh and then I normally stay up because I'm trying to unwind from work and stuff like that. So usually I get to bed about 3 or 3:30, somewhere around that area. So I would be up around that time, yeah. Yep, definitely. Let's see. Sounds like food service. I know these times. So I'm not allowed to go too much into my work, but what I will say about it is that I mostly just answer phones. Really. Um, so it's not food service, but I answer phones. Um, how do you say staying with like 5 hours of sleep? So my medicine keeps me up. So what happens is that I try to go to bed whenever I can go to bed, and then I wake up at like 7 in the morning or something like that, and that's just involuntary. Um, so what I'll do is that because I'm up for a little while, that's the reason I stream at the time that I do currently. So I just start streaming, and then like I go to bed once um, I just go to bed whenever I need a nap, and I'll take my nap, and then I'll start work again. Kitchen closes at 1 a.m., 1.5 hours to pack it all up. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, come to think of it, it does sound like kitchen hours or food service, but um, no, I have uh, it's just I don't know, I don't do kitchen work though, or food service, which kind of sucks because, or well, that doesn't suck, but uh, so like my job, it wouldn't allow me to like I had an unexcused absence because like I went to the doctor yesterday and they said not to go back to work until today, but today's like my day off. Um, but uh, I wasn't supposed to work yesterday, and so I turned in my note, and they're like, "Oh, well, this only applies when you have three or more shifts that you miss," and so it counts as an unexcused absence, and it's kind of kind of sucks a little bit. Yes, adult life, no sleep for you, but dangling carrot. Music degree doesn't help at all. So not really, because I the only thing that I can do with my degree is like teach music, but like it's only like giving lessons and stuff like that. Where I really make money is like with my royalty free music that I've got going on, uh, like with the channel and everything. So yeah, there's not really a lot of success, but I have made money with music before. Um, but like I said, that's where a lot of it comes from. Is just like if it is music related, it's just because of the royalty free music that I get. Like people sometimes when they feel generous, they like to send me tips and stuff like that for because they appreciate the work that I put into it. In fact, if you guys want to hear it, I actually came up with a dubstep song recently that I would like to share if you guys want to hear it. You guys will be the first to hear it, and then I'll post it to YouTube if you guys like it. But I've been working on that for like a couple of days, and so um, that's where that comes from, though. Plasma 6.4.1 released. Now waiting for it to become available in Fedora so that I can update it. That's good though, because uh, you finally get to have your update where it update like what's the right words, like because you had some bug fix, or you needed bug fixes is what you were saying the other day, so it should help with the bug fixes. All right, I'm getting a bunch of yeses for playing. Hello, Riam. Welcome to the stream. So glad you could join us. We're just about to share an exclusive. Uh, so without further ado, let me pull it up. You guys might want to turn down your volume, just in case. But yeah, here's a little taste of something I plan on posting. There's no vocals or anything. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to add vocals. But yeah, this was all done with FL Studio and Wine in Linux. So. All right, so we have that. Thank you guys for the support with that. I very much appreciate it. Like I said, I've been trying to figure out if I like it, if I want to go with it. I think the only thing that's really missing is some vocals, but I don't know what I would want to do with it. No, it was just a song that I just came up with. I was testing out some new sounds and seeing what I could do with it and all. But I mean, it probably could be for a game. It's mostly just like the music that I make is royalty free. So basically, the concept behind it is you can use the music for whatever you want. You could use it for whatever you want to use it for. The only thing that I ask is that you guys give me credit for it. There are free downloads for music usually with Bandcamp, which is in the link tree. You can go to my Bandcamp for royalty free music, and there's only like 200 free downloads that I get a month. So you may end up reaching a point where you may have to like donate something, but if it's nothing but like a penny, Like, it's whatever price you want to have it, really. So, that's just if you can't get it for free. Always like Skrillex. Yeah. I don't know. I personally prefer. I mean, I like Skrillex. Don't get me wrong. With that being said, I did have some inspiration from Skrillex when making that track. I really like Figure though. Figure is my all time favorite. I'm not a big fan of dubstep in general, but the underlying tune made me think of a BioShock sort of aesthetic for some reason. Well, so the funny thing is that I titled the song Portals. So the song is called Portals, and I don't know. It made me think of like going into different portals. So that was kind of the inspiration for that. Infected mushrooms. Gotcha. No, let's not pseudo. Let's not do that. um, but yeah, that will be posted. That song will be posted later today. So you guys will be able to grab it if you guys want to grab it for your own listen. Just look out for it today. Probably upload it about noon. I'll schedule it for noon, as a matter of fact, to be released. So I'll get that all ready to go and post it. And that's the great thing about having my music is like the way that I've got it. Is that the way that I've set it up is so that way in case people would like to add their own vocals to it, like they can add their own vocals to it and like me not have any effect in it. Just so that way they could like if they want to release it as their own or whatever, I just ask that I get credited for it. I bet if you can land a gig on your local TV station related to music or stuff, or if you try, you can. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, for sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. No. So my channel is about Linux, but I release royalty free music as well. Because I mean, I'm not just a one trick pony. I also do like artwork. I do music. I do gaming. But it's all about Linux. I always make it somehow about Linux. So like everything that I do is created in Linux in some form or fashion. So that's why you see the content that you do. So yeah, it's mostly about Linux. It's about showing all the potentials that you can do with Linux, making everything work. You know. So. But yeah, it is heading that time. Did you make the text fish? No. So I use something called ASCII Aquarium. So ASCII and then Aquarium, if you know how to spell that. It's all one word. And it plays in the background here. But yeah, it is getting that time for us to end the stream, to say goodbye. Um, so before I go, of course, I need to let everyone know that if you like the stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed my content, consider becoming a subscriber today. It helps out me in the channel. And if you need to get in further contact with me in case for any reason, you can message me through Discord or Matrix. I've got those. So, yeah, I will definitely be seeing you guys next time. I don't know what we're doing. I'll figure it out at some point. But, yeah, it was a great stream. Glad to have you all here. And I will see you in another stream.